Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, I'm playing various series videos I do for a little while now. I go over there, try food and drink items. I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I certainly am a bit parched after a long night at work, and well, hopefully this will resolve that issue. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside my truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is essentially the case today. I went over there, I got off work a little while ago, and it was a night, man. It was just, it was one of those things where from the moment I stepped in to the moment I left, I was just in go mode. And some people like that. I've talked with some people. They say it makes the night go by faster. I am not that person. I have an imagination. I'm the type of person, and it's occasionally to my detriment, to be fair. I'm the type of person I would much rather be bored than stressed. I don't like feeling stressed out. You know, it can be good in its way, to be fair. Sometimes you got to push yourself. But it was a night, man. And when I got out, I was like, I want something to just remind me that I'm a human being and not just a cog in a machine. And like I said, I'm a bit parched. So, what am I doing for you folks? What am I reviewing today? What are we doing? Boom! It's from Addi-Zone in Addison, Illinois. Addi-Zone. Addison. See? It's clever. I reviewed a number of things from this place. They're kind of like a sort of health food sort of ish place. So they have like protein shakes, which I reviewed some. They also have like acai bowls and things like that. They have protein waffles, which I totally need to try a protein waffle at some point. Just haven't gotten to it yet. But one of the things that they have that I hadn't tried yet is they have these things. Am I on the thing? So, yeah, they have these, like, loaded tea refreshers. Yeah, so, okay. So I was looking over their menu of those, and I was like, sure, we'll get one of those. So, boom! Oh, no. Saved it. Boom! It's this. Look at it. Yeah. What is this? This is their acai lemonade refresher. I don't know exactly what's in it, because that's just what it's called. But, sure, man, I like lemonades and stuff, so here we go. Ooh. Oh, boy. Man, I was not expecting that level of tartness. They got to be using, they got to be giving it a little extra kick, like with, I forget what it's called off the top of my head. But, like, the stuff that, like, Country Time uses, like, for their lemonades and stuff, where it's not, like, you know, real lemon or anything, but they use, like, like an additive. It's not sodium benzoate. What the hell is it? I can't remember, but, like, you know what I'm talking about. Unless you don't. In which case you don't, yeah, like, certain lemonades and stuff, there's never been a lemon anywhere near them. They use this chemical that goes over there and it gives it, like, the tartness. That is definitely being in use here. Because, like, that, it has a very different tartness than, like, a, you know, traditional lemon kind of tartness. It's really interesting. It's very different than what I was expecting. But, like, I'm kind of down with it. It took me by surprise, and it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting more of, like, a classic lemonade, just, you know, okay, with, like, a little bit of a twist or whatever. But no, this is definitely its own thing, and I'm not opposed to that. For one thing, I like a lemonade that's got a nice kick to it, so, but the thing is, you want to have contrasting flavors, right? That's my personal thing. So it's great to have a kick, but you also have to have, you know, some sweetness and stuff to kind of counterbalance it. And in this case, yeah, it does. It's just, man, that kick that you get, man. It's almost like the same kick you get from, like, sweet tarts, you know, where, like, it's just kind of almost sharp. But it's really nice, actually. It's kind of a berry lemonade type of thing. Yeah, I'm down with it. It's, again, very different than what I was expecting, but at the same time, like, in a really kind of nice way. Yeah. It's definitely, it's just so interesting. Like, I don't think I've ever had, like, a lemonade. The closest thing I could say that kind of reminds me of this would be, like, a Wendy's lemonade, like, one of their lemonades that they have there. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that. Where it's, I don't know. It's hard, it's difficult to describe. But it is really nice. It is really refreshing. And as somebody who, I am, like I said, a big fan of lemonades, it's always interesting to kind of experience a new take on the lemonade format. And I can definitely say that that is the case with this. But again, it is really cool. And it's like very unexpected. But it's nice. I like that sharpness. And yeah. I know I'm being like a little bit vague with some of this. Like it's again, I'm trying to cultivate all the proper words to, to describe it. Usually it's relatively simple. But when I get something that like kind of stumps my brain, it's like, look, I have a big head. My brain is trying its best to do what it can. But no, I do really like it. I like the sort of berry taste that it has to it. The again, the ingredient that they're using for the tartness wasn't expected, but at the same time, I think it works really nicely in this because it is a different type of tartness from a lemonade, and I think in this instance it allows like that sort of acai berry flavor to kind of be more at the forefront. Whereas if it had been mixed with a more traditional lemonade, it would be kind of fighting for position. So, okay. Two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I'm going to go with yes, slight caveat. Yes, again, slight caveat. So here's the thing. Would I get this if I strictly wanted a lemonade? No. Because again, it's very different, and I think if I wanted a more traditional lemonade, I would go specifically for a traditional lemonade. This is definitely doing its own thing. It has certain properties that are somewhat similar to lemonade, but it also has certain things where it's just very much its own thing. And in that regard, like I said, probably wouldn't go for it if I wanted specifically just a lemonade. However, it kind of falls in that category, or because it is kind of niche and it's doing its own thing, and I like it, it's one of those things where I would get this specifically when I wanted this, if that makes any sense. Again, not going to go just specifically if I want a lemonade, but if it's something where it's like, you know what, I've got that kind of flavor on my mind, this would be the thing that I would go out and grab because it's going to fulfill that. If I'm recommending it to other people, it's kind of the same logic. It's like if you're expecting a more traditional lemonade, it's not that. However, if you want something that's, I'll call it like a lemonade offshoot, basically. If you want something like that and something that's going to be really interesting, especially if you enjoy like, again, like that kick, that kind of tartness, it's definitely something I would say try. I don't know that every person is going to like it, but it is definitely, I would say, give it a go because I think it's really cool. And again, I like that it's doing unique things that are somewhat familiar, but being taken in kind of unusual, directions. Yeah. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of the year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly lemonade-tastic rest of your life. Because lemonade is good. Afro Samurai liked lemonade. You're not better than Afro Samurai. You're probably better than Afro Samurai. For one thing, he's fictional. For 2 things, he was a dick. Like, even though he's the main character, if you've never seen it, by the way, I've heard that the series, like the animated series, like, I've heard it's way better than the manga that it's based off of. But I don't know. I never read the manga. If you've never seen it, main character's a huge douchebag. He basically ruins the lives of, like, every person that he's involved in. Like, he does go over there and deal with some douchebags himself, but, like, it's not because he's a good person. Anyway. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and bullshit. And, folks, we just have to deal. As much as we shouldn't have to. A lot of times we just have to deal with this, those situations. When we do, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do. By the way, I forgot to mention this. I want to get in real quick. If you're still with me, thank you, by the way, if you are. Because this is a local establishment, this review and my previous review are going to end up in my Eating Out Illinois playlist. That is a playlist that is just for, spots local to Illinois and, places that hopefully I can highlight a little bit with my limited range that I have. Anyway, but hopefully you can go over there and maybe in your own capacity, you can go over there and highlight some places that you love as well. I mean, I occasionally get credit in my own personal life for being somebody who, I do try to support, things and people that I really like. And the thing is, it's not that hard to do so, like you have to make that effort. And sometimes that can be difficult, but it is really important, support your friends, support your family, support, local businesses and stuff like that. I mean, you don't have to, that's up to you. But at least for me, I like to do that. I've always considered myself somebody who I personally have no substantial natural talent or skill set. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I'm pretty kind of relatively good at most things I try at. So when it comes to like other people in my life, who pursue, things and really, try to excel at those things, I try when I can, hopefully, to, be supportive. And that just is really important. I just feel like that's a good thing for, whether it's me or anybody. Anyway,